Hey guys, Bigsteviepump here, coming at you live for Remember Your Collectibles. When was the last time you saw a Joker handling a Joker, holding a Joker? Well, you seen it right here today, folks, at Remember Your Collectibles in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Flealand, Kentucky's largest flea market. Guys, we're having a lot of fun with this series, the Bigsteviepump experience. Don't forget to come and check us out here at Remember Your Collectibles down aisle D, booth D31. We actually got 5 booths. One booth doesn't do it justice. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you joining me on this Bigsteviepump experience that we're doing each and every week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's have some fun today, guys. What we got going on here, this is one of my good customers, one of my good friends, Detrick, who actually designed our logo for the Remember Your Collectibles. He did that for us, and he's a good customer. We will and deal every week. This shirt I actually gave to him for Christmas. He's a good customer of ours. Like I said, we've done a lot of willing and dealing. So today, he's brought a few things to trade. He actually likes this Stone Cold and this ECC slab here, this Cactus Jack, and this stuff was scorching hot a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago when it first came out. It's cooled down a little. It's still an awesome card. But he's brought a few things. Like I said, we trade a lot. Here's a Sweet China. Here's an Otani card. This is a Cornelius Bennett, kind of a little random assortment of stuff numbered. Cooper Flag's hot, so obviously I like the Cooper Flag. I definitely like the Cena, and I may grade that here, and I'm going to show something in a minute on that. Chipper Jones, Topps rookie, and a Bo Jackson, 87 Topps rookie, a real iconic card from that era. Now, one thing I like to do is to see how these slab up, is I like to actually lay the card on top of it, and that would look dope in that slab, I think. So that's kind of any of this stuff. That's what I do when I'm trying to figure out about slabbing it. So this is a trade. We're already going to do this. I've already agreed to this. So basically, I'm trading in this slab Stone Cold for this little stuff here in China. Let's not let China not be seen there. And I'll actually potentially slab these 2 cards out of it. You know, turn 1 slab into 2 slabs, and the other stuff I'll just have whatever. Also, a couple of cool little Furbies here. These are like McDonald's toys. Detrick's daughter seems to like these, so we're going to throw these in here on the deal. So you just never know. Some wrestling accessories that he's been after me for a few weeks to bring in, and I've been dragging my feet. So finally, I brought a few odds and ends here. So a lot of fun we're having here at Remember Your Collectibles. You never know what you're going to see, what we're going to trade for, what customer's going to pop by. Anyway, that's what we got going on here today. One of the things. So earlier, I was talking about my buddy Detrick and, you know, some of the stuff he likes to do. Well, also, he likes to do some customization. So you can see he didn't customize this. I'm sending this box with it. This actually will dig a few of the fun pieces out of here. But so, for example, we got somebody trying to do blackface Ric Flair. I'm going to get canceled today, folks. But, like, we might be able to take and amalgam these 2 Ric Flairs and make one good figure. I mean, just all kind of funny stuff in here. Like I said, this is just literally all red-faced Roman Reigns. Will you get canceled for that? I don't know. I mean, somebody was trying to do blood on these figures, and I talked to the kid that brought these to me because they pretty much have no value. We can't hardly do much with them. Use ketchup, kids. We're going to make this a PSA service announcement right now. If you're going to bloody up your wrestling figures, use ketchup or fake blood or something that wipes off. Don't use permanent marker, or else you're going to end up with a Kylie and an Eric Rowan that's just ruined. And this would be like a $50 figure if it wasn't ruined. So, I mean, that's the bad thing about them. So definitely use ketchup, use fake blood, something like that, or else I'm going to have to give a pile of these figures to my buddy Detrick to try to customize. Here's Sin Cara. I mean, Finn Balor that's kind of beat. And we don't have to go through all these. Like I said, you can see the fun. Some of this is stripped down to nothing, like torsos, John Cena's that's beat up. Anyway, so this kind of stuff, I will take it in and try to figure out a way to get rid of it or something. Detrick's done some painting for me before. He's done some customs. Actually, the front of this case here, these old classic Hasbros, the Big Boss Man. Let's see, He did that one, the IRS on the end. There was a few other ones. He did 4 or 5 of them. I've sold most of them except for those. But so he did a pretty good job with that, and he'll see what he can do to clean these up. So we'll see what's happening. Don't forget to stop by Memorabilia Collectibles at Flealand of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Kentucky's largest flea market. Come say hi to Bigsteviepump. Come say hi to Cousin Davey. Buy, trade, sell, whatever. Let's do it. Let's go. All right, so check it out. What we got here, Simpsons Toys. All right, so from these are, I think, around 1999. They came in like a Burger King style Happy Meal, like McDonald's has Happy Meal. So like a Burger King, kid value meal. And they had all of these. So they're like Halloween themed. I guess they come out around Halloween. Literally, these just come into my possession, so I really haven't done the research that I need to, but it's like something really cool. I was like, okay, Simpsons. I mean, yes, I've done a little bit of research. They're about probably like, anywhere from $3 to $8 a piece, roughly in that neighborhood. I'd probably sell something like this around the $5 range, like, just kind of meet in the middle. But but they're way cool. They're cooler than the price point. Sometimes rarity doesn't always equal value. Sometimes you'll come across things that you don't easily find, but yet the value's not assigned to it. But any Simpsons fans would love these. I know there's not a lot of this out there. This is a pretty nice collection of these. I'd say you'd probably struggle to find another collection, and this isn't complete, and some of them are missing the stands, but even still, to see this many characters at one time is pretty impressive. You're not going to find a collection like this in too many places at once, so I thought I'd show these off today. Like I said, Burger King, the equivalent of Happy Meal toys, Burger King from 1999, so pretty cool. You just never know what we're going to get here at Memorabilia Collectibles. I mean, kind of, Pumpkin Patch Guy. Like I said, it was, I'm trying to remember, I said, I don't know the characters as well, so I should, Pooh, is that his name, I think, something like that? I should know these characters better if I'm going to do this. But anyway, a bunch of really cool characters, and I know we've been getting some close-ups of these, but everybody knows Bart there in his little skeleton outfit. Don't have a cow, man. Probably eating a Butterfinger, maybe. I don't know. That was the first time I ever really remember seeing The Simpsons, is the Butterfinger commercial. The first time in my life that I remember seeing, okay, what are these little characters? So sometimes this is what I'm going to show right here is just kind of a little hodgepodge of stuff. It's some really awesome stuff. We're going to start with a Face from the A-Team, and of course we showed to Hannibal on a previous episode that we had carded. So here's Face. That's pretty cool. Here's Lando Calrissian. And I mean, obviously this was somebody's like attic find, just of some random stuff they had when they were a kid or whatever, which is cool. The General Lee. Look, I'm really teeter-tottering on being canceled a whole bunch today, folks. Like we were talking about all kind of stuff earlier, blackface. Now we're talking about the General Lee. I'm really pushing the envelope here on the Bigsteviepump experience. But that's the only way I know to do things, folks. So here's from 1999, right around, say 99, 2000, or actually 97, right before the Titans actually came to Nashville when they played. This was actually at Vanderbilt Stadium, I believe, when they were trying to pump the Titans up, getting the votes to come here or whatever. They were called the Tennessee Oilers, and they played in Memphis for like a season. But this is right before that, I guess, 97, when they did that. Here's a Salacious Crumb. Everybody loves Salacious Crumb. Now, this is kind of cool, the fact that this is still sealed. Yes, the card's a little warped. In this shape, this is probably, 30 or 40-ish bucks maybe, but it's just a cool piece. Once again, rarity doesn't always equal value. You're not going to see a lot of this floating around in the world, but it's really cool. I mean, that's any Spider-Man collector would love to have that on their wall. Woo! The Nature Boy. And we got a crowd assembling around here at the Bigsteviepump experience, but Ric Flair, this is from the original San Francisco Toy Makers. This was really, truthfully, it's really a horrible line. I mean, I hated this line. It was a knockoff of the WWF LJNs, which I just happen to have one handy. You never know what I'm going to pull out. I just happen to have an LJN King Kong Bundy handy, so you can see the size variance. So that was one of the biggest problems. These, of course, ran from 84 to 89. One thing I will point out, since we're talking about it, I like to teach on these too. So this is figure rot. So as sad as that is, no matter where you store these, it doesn't matter. Some of them, like the plastic, got infected many years ago at the factory or whatever, and over the course of time, it gets figure rot. So when you see these little blackish, bluish, blemishes on these old LJN rubber figures. That's not somebody's lack of care. That's just the plastic deteriorating. That's all it deteriorating, if I can say that properly. So anyway, that's what we're talking about here. But when they did this run, these are a slightly smaller scale figure, so that was kind of the bad thing. They lived in their own world. You couldn't wrestle them with anybody else, so it wasn't really that popular of a line, because at this point figures were getting full articulation. So shortly after this is when Jakks got the line and then actually started making figures worth having. All right, saving the best for last, and then I got to go talk to some customers. Snap into a Slim Jim. Dig it. Oh yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage. I love this. This is actually the second one of these that's come into possession. You might have seen Cody on the video earlier. He traded me my first one. So, it's a pretty sweet piece, but this was in a gas station, and it would have been sitting on the counter, like by the check stand, and it would have had Slim Jims in there where they were trying to promote, Slim Jims. So I think this is awesome. This is a really cool piece. Macho Man, he just, transcends time. I mean, like I said, a lot of people know him as much for the Slim Jim as the wrestling, the raspy voice. But anyway, you can't go wrong with any of this cool little pile of nostalgia here. You never know what we're going to get each and every week. So this is just a sampling of just kind of randomness that we do get, this type of stuff. And obviously, I just pulled him out. All right, guys, thank you for joining me today on the Bigsteviepump Experience, coming at you live from Flealand of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Kentucky's largest flea market. Guys, I appreciate you joining me each and every week. We're doing this limited series run here. We're going to try to have about 15, 16 episodes, hopefully, for season 2. So a big, that's what we're doing here. So I hope you continue to join me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And guess what, guys? There's going to be so much awesome stuff coming at you. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the Bigsteviepump guarantee on that. All right, guys, just keep grinding. Bigsteviepump out. Way too cherished of an item to be. I think John likes those.
I just showed up.
Uh-oh. Cody, look at my Employee of the Month trophy. I'm thinking about getting this graded. This piece is so fine.
Look at it really close.
This is like I was talking about this before. I mean, the Stanley Cup, the Lombardi Trophy, it doesn't matter. There's been no finer craftsmanship. That Tom Savini guy that does the horror mask and makes the custom belts, nobody does a finer craftsmanship than the person unnamed that made this trophy. They're so famous they don't even want it out there how famous they are. That's the kind of trophy we're dealing with.
Unsung hero.
Exactly.